So I've come to terms that many of you will probably skip to another video even before I'm done with this intro. I know who you are. And I don't blame you really, because looking at the title down below, who the heck is MIFO and why should you care about a brand that sounds like someone used to substitute a bad word like shoot or darn, or in this case, he can skin a snake like a MIFO. You can laugh at that one, that's pretty funny. But you know what? You should care because this video is awesome and so is this thing, the MIFO O5 Gen 2. It has some drawbacks, sure, but if you want something truly unique, is a conversation starter and can be used to break a glass window in an emergency, you might want to watch this. And oh, by the way, I'm giving away one of these brand new ones to someone here in North or South America. Sorry, I can't do international shipping at the moment. I can't afford it. All you have to do is subscribe or be a current subscriber and tell me in the comments down below about something kind you did for somebody today and I'll randomly pick someone. So let's do it after these messages that way. Alright, here's a scoop on the second gen MIFO O5, and as you can see, it kind of carries over the design and build of the first gen. This is the first one right here, and even today, I still think it looks way more expensive than the $90 price suggests. There has been a couple of nips and tucks though, besides an obvious logo change, such as Bluetooth 5.2 now, which promises better signal throughput and power efficiency and supports AAC, SBC, and aptX. Transparency mode is also new, and so is the new touch control scheme. They've done away with the button pad on the old one. There's no Qi charging still, but thank goodness we have a, look at this, a USB-C port finally. Yes, let me see if I can focus. There you go. MIFO has finally caught up with the times. What has stayed the same though is mono mode. You can use this individually. Auto power off after 3 minutes, as well as the healthy IPX7 water resistance coating, so you can use this in the shower. Now, for those of you new to the MIFO brand, they're known for their unique take on their cases and their buds in terms of design, manufacturing processes, and material choices, and that in of itself is pretty darn impressive from such a small company. The aluminum charging case, for example, look at this, it's quality and it's very hefty. For those of you who like a strong, hefty feel to your cases, this is it. And check this out, just like the first gen, it doubles as a 2600 milliamp hour power bank. Yes, you can emergency charge your phone or whatever device you can think of with this thing. It does it both ways. And just in case, MIFO also includes an adapter. If you only have a USB-A to a USB-C, you can convert it right here. That's pretty darn nice. Now, the lid is also nice and all, with a hinge that reminds me of a link from an expensive metal watch band. Kind of does, right? But the ergonomics here ain't my favorite. For one, if it's not the easiest to put my finger on the notch right here to lift it, just like the first gen, they didn't fix it. And once you have it open, look at this, it doesn't stay open, it just flops around. I would have preferred some kind of locking mechanism. Now, something to note too is because the mounting point here of the hinge is kind of tucked away midway through down the case, you could also accidentally, and I've done this a few times, accidentally lift the lid part way from the other side. See this? At least it locks in place. If you try to force it open, it doesn't, but you know, it's there, and I think that's a problem. Looking at the inside of the case again, right here in the middle is the battery level status light for the case itself. And the earbuds themselves sit in this cavity, to be honest, that's barely big enough for my fingers. They're kind of mid-range, so if you have large fingers, you're gonna have problems here. This is the battery hump, and I wish they had made some kind of cutout for your fingers. That would have been so much better. Thankfully, there's no shiny plastics here, easy to keep clean and stay clean for the most part. Charging pin is right here in the middle, flanked by a couple magnets. Over on the side, as we saw earlier, USB-C charging port and the charging status light right there. Now, as we said earlier, I'm going to put the other earbud back in, by the way. As we said earlier, the build quality on this thing is hard to fault. The material choices, really, really nice stuff. Aside from the flopping lid that kind of knocks it down a few points, just visually, everything else is so nice. There's no hard chamfers or anything. Really, really nice. Let's do the shake test. I have the earbuds back in. Let's pop the lid, keep the lid open. There's some wobble, but look, it stays in place just like the first gen, so thumbs up to that. Battery life on the earbuds, you'll be getting around 6.3 hours at 65% volume with pass-through mode off. The factory claims 7 hours, in case you're wondering. While the case itself, remember, because of its large battery cell, this thing can potentially refill your earbuds when they go empty another 14 times. Yes, you heard that right. 14, guys. And because of the battery too, this thing weighs 106 grams. That's like tankish. Without the earbuds, 106 grams. This can bloody break your toe if you drop it. The earbuds, thankfully, are the opposite. This thing weighs a feather light 4 grams. It's probably the lightest in its class, or one of the anyway, and it beats out even the brand new Jabra Elite 3. If I remember correctly, that runs 4.6 grams. If you compare this with the first version, the chrome silver caps on this one has been replaced with a slightly more muted, and to my eyes, a more refined industrial design. I really like this. It's slimmer now, and it kind of mimics or copies the MIFO O5, but in this case with a slightly shorter microphone or mic extension right here. Now the left and right sides are indicated by color coding, blue for the left and right for the red, just like before. Really nice stuff. And the mics are located, 2 of them on each side, one at the top here and one at the bottom. Otherwise, it's a really clean design. Everything is really well put together, just like the case. Really light, as we mentioned, and it's really grippy down here. Really nice stuff, but it's not that kind of PU or plastic that will melt over time. This is just a really grippy hard plastic, which I really like. And the touch controls, they accept single, double, triple taps. It's not customizable because there's no app here. And as far as I can tell, the 6mm driver is the same as before. So we'll talk about sound quality later on. And it ports sound through this really short sound channel that ends with this gray mesh grill that keeps gunk out. There are 5 ear tips altogether provided in the box. It's decently easy to put on and off. You can always replace it with something else. But it's not the quickest, but at least they're comfortable because they're like liquid silicone or something. Yeah, you see, I'm just having problems here. Not the quickest, but once you have it on, they're really nice and comfy. Alright guys, we're outside doing the Bluetooth range test, and this time I have music by this new artist that I found, Lizzie McAlpine. Have you heard of her? She plays something like folk, blues, pop, really good tunes, really nice melody, really easy to listen to if you like that kind of stuff. I'll link her down below. But anyways, I have her on diesel right here, and I'm going to put the phone at the end of my deck right there, and I'll take you past from the back of my house towards the side. Pardon the exposure issues today, it's really sunny. But these MIFO O5s have Bluetooth 5.2, so it should last around 30 to 33 feet. And where I'm standing is roughly 25, and there behind all the kayaking stuff is the phone. Trust me, it's there. But anyways, we're right close right now to the 30. There you go. It's starting to sputter, so it's working as expected according to specs. But I'm gonna take you down this way to see when these guys completely disconnect. How y'all doing? It's a beautiful day out. It's pre-fall, early fall, or not fall yet officially, but you can see the leaves just coming down like crazy. I'm not looking forward to sweeping them up. And the streets are getting busy, so it'd be a good time to do the mic test next. Am I getting a tone? Yep, there you go. I just got a tone. One thing I have to say, I'm going to talk about these later on, is I love the audio cues on these earbuds. They sound so professional, very different from the rest, and I really like it. I like that little effort that they put into it, and you can see the fit of these in my ears. I love wearing these. They're so light, 4 grams each, guys, and they lock right in the interchangeable notch right here, and it just stays in place. I can jump around. Not a problem whatsoever. I'm coming back into range. Let's see if we get a tone. Yep, I just got a boom right here. Double tap. Music doesn't continue, but I double tap and it plays. And there you go. And let me take you down to the road right now, and we can check out the mics on these and how to do with phone calls. Let's do it. All right, we're by the roadside right now, and we're here to get some sound samples to see how these things do with noise suppression. I'm actually on the neighbor's yard right now. They're cool with it. Hi Chris, hi Brittany. But anyways, these things are great when it's quiet. My voice floor, but the intonation is good. But when sound is introduced, I'm waiting for traffic to pass by. But here comes a car. When traffic passes through, listen to this in a second. It sounds like I'm in a horror film or something. This high-pitched squeal or something that counts as noise suppression. But yeah, there you go. It's just doesn't make sense. So MIFO has never been good in voice phone calls, so I hope they pick this up a little bit. But yeah, there's another one. How does that sound? Yeah, quiet environments are fine, but not noisy. When you're running on the road, just don't pick up the phone. Your listeners are just gonna hate you for it, unless it's your mother-in-law. But yeah, just go for it. In terms of sound quality, let me say this. The MIFO Gen 2 enjoys itself in the mid and high frequencies, especially the clarity and definition. It is so strong and tight. Like say when I'm listening to one of my jams right now, Your Power by Billie Eilish. The flute and sirens, even though they're like background production stuff, they're nice and clear when they do pop up. And of course, her mezzo-soprano voice is humming just right between my ears. Now, the bass drop at the beginning of Trevor Daniels' Falling is also what I use to test clarity, depth, and composure, in which the O5s handle pretty darn well. It's a little bit muffled, and also at the same time, I wouldn't say it's made for bass heads. Sometimes the best things are all in the small details, don't you think? Like in this case, we have the MIFO's, well, case. It's machine built, it has some heft to it that some of you may like, and I also like the audio tones and cues built into the earbuds, like say when I power it on or press a command. It's more professional sounding than what I'm used to testing. And I also like the color-coded left-right indicators, they just make a small difference. And it's these little small things that when I open up the box for the first time, put them in my hands or put them in my ear for the first time, and power it on, it just leaves a nice lasting good impression. And these MIFO O5s are particularly good at that. The last positive, and probably my favorite thing of all, is the lightness and fit of these things in your ears. It's just like you're wearing nothing. You can wear these for hours on end and not even realize you still have them on. And they stay in place too. They lock in your intertracheal notch right here. And even if you perform vigorous activities, they just stay put. So yeah, you could wear these all day and not even realize that you walked into the shower and you still have them on. But thank goodness they also have IPX7. You can wear it in the shower as well. Alright, on to the negatives. So it's a cool concept and all, but the power bank feature on the case, just like the first gen, is just not practical enough for me. Like say if you're trying to charge your phone, you have to ensure that it's turned off, otherwise the output amps on the case can't keep up with the power draw of the phone. I think that's a huge omission and lack of consideration on MIFO's part. Another thing is that the charging port, check this clip out, it sticks out too far when you have a cable in it and it feels like I'm about to break it off at any point, even though I probably won't. And did I already mention the weight on this thing? Yes, you can totally use this to break into your car if you lost your keys. Well, I guess if you look at it that way, that counts as a good thing, isn't it? This next one is a little bit more subjective because on one hand, $90 seems like it's just right for this kind of earbud, but on the other hand, there are some folks who are looking at $90 and they're saying we're not getting mod cons like active noise cancellation, wear detection, or at the very least, some kind of low latency gaming or movie mode, which of course the O5 does not have. The controls on these buds are not customizable, unfortunately, so like say the preset left-right commands that are built into these, they're limited, especially in mono mode. So for example, the right side handles track forward as well as volume up, and the opposite for the left side. Guess what? In mono mode, they do exactly just that. One thing, and for some reason MIFO turns off the volume control in mono mode but not the other parts. So it's kind of weird and I have to resort to my phone to, control my play. I wish two things: they had an app to customize this, or secondly, had a different command scheme when I switched to mono mode. As you saw a few minutes ago, noise suppression during phone calls is a particular weak spot on these earbuds. And also one thing I didn't mention earlier too is that the mics, they peak pretty easily if you tend to yell when you talk. So in the samples earlier, I'm trying to project my voice to the camera and you can see how easily overcome the mics are. So ultimately, what do I think about these MIFOs? And I also hope that YouTube doesn't flag me because it thought I said a bad word. I meant MIFOs, not you know what. But how about, I'm impressed guys, because they definitely have the audio part down pat as well as the build quality. And also one of my favorite bits, besides the sound as I mentioned earlier, is the fit and comfort of them in my ears. It's so light and so small, and personally I don't think it compromises as much as you think on battery life and also touch control surface area. It's really well thought out here. I personally though can do without the power bank feature, but I guess this plus the earbuds small form factor are kind of what helps MIFO justify the $90 asking price. But let's be real here, because without these things, there are so many other options out there, from Soundpeak, Soundcore, or nothing like their Year 1 that's $99 for example. And nonetheless though, the technical merits on the O5 Gen 2 more than outweigh the demerits. So if you're looking for something different for a change, definitely check these out. Or if you act now, you could win one today. The details are down in the description below. So with all that said, I want to give the MIFO O5 Gen 2 a GearUP score of 8.1 out of 10 right there. And this is how I broke it down to get to the final score. If you have any questions about it, feel free to comment down below. Well, that's all folks. Thanks so much for spending your time watching this. You could have done anything else, but you're here. And if you could, please subscribe and leave a comment down below. It would be super helpful. And it's always awesome at the same time to have you along on this GearUP journey, whatever it is. You can also check me out on Patreon or Insta or Twitter. I'm all there. The links are down below, by the way. And also remember to thumbs up if you like this video, yes? And thumbs down. Thumbs down to Candy Crush Friends. It's my latest drug. And yes, I know I'm like 5 years late, but I'm a sucker for match 3 games. It's simple, mindless, and brings me back to simpler times like Tetris. But yeah, thumbs down for me, for being, beyond the times there. But anyways, let's do this. Let's end this. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope to see you next week. Remember to do something kind and loving for somebody in this world, because the world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. So God bless. I love you all. Peace out.